Hello everybody, just wanted to tell you about a giveaway coming up where we're going to be giving away tons of free stuff like 2 awesome gaming chairs, a SteelSeries laptop, a Loot Crate subscription, and much more. And entering is super easy. All you have to do is follow the link down below and do simple things like following RapidX on Twitter and Instagram or subscribing to our new YouTube channel. So don't let someone else win your gaming chair or keyboard just because you were too lazy to enter. Anyway, let's get started. Hello everybody, Disciple here with Hearthstone Curios. Now, cheap cards in any game are a pretty obvious necessity since most players don't really want to sit there for the first few turns while doing absolutely nothing while they save up their mana for the real cards. And there's nothing wrong with aggressive strategies that try to kill the opponent early before they can make full use of their more expensive cards, since aggro decks definitely do have a place in the meta for sure. But good 1 or 2 drop minions in Hearthstone have frequently been incredibly oppressive and prevented people from playing slow decks at all. This obviously isn't healthy for the game, and that's why today we thought we'd talk about just really why cheap minions limit card design and how Blizzard could potentially fix that problem. So let's get right into it. First, let's clarify the types of cheap minions we're talking about. No one's really complaining too much about Mistress of Mixtures, Enchanted Raven, or even Zombie Chow really, and they're all really solid 1-drops that have seen play in high-tier constructed decks. So what kind of 1-drops are a problem? The kind that run away with the game and snowball out of control when not killed immediately, like the pressure from Small Time Buccaneer and patches, how fast Tunnel Trog and Mana Worm can grow, and definitely the best example, pre-nerf Undertaker. All of these 1-drops just threaten to run away with the game if they're not killed immediately, and this makes it incredibly hard for slower decks to function. For example, Jade Druid was pretty much unplayable for a while because of the frequency of Aggro Shaman and Pirate Warrior, and it was really only after people started teching heavily against those aggro decks and the fact that those aggro decks got nerfed and reduced in frequency a lot that Jade decks were able to become good at all. While there aren't a ton of hyper-efficient early minions right now, Ungoro is another good example. Pirate Warrior and other aggressive decks are still around, and that makes it so that most quests are pretty bad and you just get killed before you can even finish them, or you die the moment that you play the card that you got. The Warrior one is good because you protect yourself with taunts as part of completing it. The Rogue quest is strong because you can race an aggro deck with it, and the Mage quest lets you stall long enough to where your opponent's minions don't really matter. Still, Ungoro is a pretty healthy meta overall, and getting back to the point, it's not aggressive decks that are the problem, but when Blizzard makes early game minions for them way too good. When pre-nerf Undertaker was around, every deck would either be an Undertaker deck or need to have a ridiculous amount of early game answers so they could make sure they could always remove your Undertaker the turn it came down. Otherwise, it would get too big and you would just win the game. Similarly, not having answers for Tunnel Trog or Totem Golem against Aggro Shaman, not having answers to Mana Worm while Tempo Mage is getting it bigger and bigger, and not being able to clear patches in Small Time Buccaneer the turn they came down, are all examples of have an answer or you lose. Now, needing to have an answer for something isn't the worst thing in the world, but it makes a lot more sense if it's something like, kill this Ysera or you lose, or kill this other large bomb or you're going to lose. And if you're making people need to have answers for turn 1 plays, then you're not only heavily restricting deck building, but also letting RNG frequently decide the game. If you have to answer an opponent's 9-drop, a lot of that will be about how you manage your resources or removal spells earlier on in the game so that you still have answers later on. But if you have to kill your opponent's Undertaker on turn 1, it's about whether or not you drew your removal spell in your starting hand at all. And overall, the fact that you can win a game simply off of a 1-drop and the luck of your opponent's draw is really not fun, and I don't think anyone really feels good about that, except for a player benefiting from some cheap wins, but overall, it does not make for a healthy game. So how can Blizzard fix this problem? They just really need to be careful with the types of aggressive 1 and 2 drops that they print. Things like Fiery Bat or pre-nerf Leper Gnome are probably pretty fine because while they do a lot of early game damage, they're fairly easy to kill and you can get board back and stabilize against them, and these cards don't win the game themselves.
In a control versus aggro matchup, if the control deck has a slow start, it's fine to take a bit of damage for it. But it's not fine for your opponent to have 2 5/6 Undertakers on turn 3 because you had a bad starting hand which wasn't just filled with early cheap removal. Now, we haven't had anything quite as bad as Undertaker since, and that's really good, and it means that Blizzard is learning, but honestly the fact that we did have Tunnel Trog printed means that they didn't learn enough, since a 1-drop that can infinitely scale and take over the game by itself is just so unhealthy for the game, and instead we need cards that can be strong on their own and can help you take over the board early for your aggression and push damage, or can try and stave off that aggression with something like Zombie Chow or Mistress of Mixtures, and those are the 1-drops that we need in the game. You can choose to put more of them in there if you need to be better against aggressive decks, or you can choose to not include them if you need to be a little bit greedier so you can compete with other mid-range and control decks. But you shouldn't just put an auto-include 1-drop in there because it's your win condition, and that was just pretty dumb, and I'm really glad that Tunnel Trog is out of the standard meta altogether. Anyway, those are my thoughts on cheap minions being a little bit too good in Hearthstone, and how Blizzard can fix that in the future. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I like to know what you guys think about early cheap minions, and if you think any of them are not problems, or that you think that there are more of them that are problems that we didn't even mention. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.